Now, another ridiculous moment that has gone viral over the weekend that I wanted to talk about this morning is Kris Jenner, right? I've been talking about this for months. Kris Jenner's plastic surgeon deserves a raise. Kris Jenner's plastic surgeon, give him the Humanitarian of the Year award, okay? Don't give it to Meghan Markle. Give it to Kris Jenner's plastic surgeon because he has done wonders. And Kris Jenner, she's unveiled this new look that's gone viral over the weekend. She's now blonde. She's pulled all the way up to high heaven. She looks like a completely different person. And I just wanted to say, if you add up all the money the Kardashians have spent on plastic surgery, you could probably pay down the national debt. Okay, it's probably the GDP of a small nation if you add up everything the Kardashians have spent on plastic surgery. But Kris Jenner, she's going viral for unveiling this new look. And what I find so interesting is she's getting a lot of hate, right? And we all know the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. I would be the first to criticize Kris Jenner, but this woman, she has sat there and supported all of her daughters with their rapper boyfriends and Kanye West. Her husband turned into a woman. If she wants to go get a new face and new hair and do a 180 in her life, let her go do it. You know what I'm saying? If you wake up and your husband decides to be a woman and your daughters marry these ne'er-do-well rappers who are in and out of mental institutions, you might want to get a new hairdo as well. So Kris Jenner, she unveiled this new blonde hairdo. Unlike Joy Reid, it actually works on her. Unlike Joy Reid from MSNBC, the hairstyle actually works on her. And what I'll also say is that you are the company you keep in life sometimes. And so Kris Jenner, she's been hanging out a lot with Lauren Sanchez and some of these other women. Lauren Sanchez, we talked on the last episode. In my opinion, she's had a lot of plastic surgery, and I'm not hating on her. I'm not hating on her. If you're married to a guy who's got hundreds of billions of dollars, what's a couple of nips and tucks and, you know, going under the knife here and there? But your friend group and who you hang out with is going to rub off on you, right? So if you hang out with women who are normal, women who have their feet planted on the ground, who touch grass regularly, then that's how you're going to end up. If you're in this Hollywood world hanging out with Lauren Sanchez and these wealthy billionaires, you're going to think it's totally normal to go in under the knife and come out with a new face. But I'm not even hating on it because, like I said, she has sat there and watched her daughters go through BBLs, getting their butts done, their boobs done, marrying these loser guys, okay, rappers and basketball players who end up doing drugs and cheating on them and getting other women pregnant. At 70 years old, if Kris Jenner wants to get a new face, let her get a new face. Now, the last plastic surgery case we have to discuss is none other than Kathy Griffin. Now, Kathy Griffin, she used to be funny. Remember before Kathy Griffin went woke and before Trump derangement syndrome got to her, she was actually a funny person, right? She could take a joke. She was off color. She was cutting. This is what happens, okay, when hatred for Trump becomes your entire personality. Kathy Griffin. And clearly there's something wrong with Kathy Griffin because the way she came out looking from this plastic surgery, I've never seen someone resemble Chucky closer than Kathy Griffin. And I'm not even going to apologize for saying that right now because some of her friends need to step in, okay? Some of these Hollywood celebrities, they have body dysmorphia. They can't see themselves for how they actually are. They think maybe having plastic surgery is going to give them a resurgence in their career. It's going to bring them back up. Kathy Griffin, she doesn't look great. She also went on TV and she spoke about her plastic surgery. Let's take a look at that clip.
I got my third facelift, right. And I thought, new face, new tour. I think it's so funny, some of these folks, men and women, who've obviously had work done, but then they say, oh, I went to a spa for a week, or they come up with some excuse. I've been catching up on sleep.
Drinking
and
water.
Green juice, green celery juice,
You're
celery
like,
juice.
Let's be real here.
I'm like, I saw you in the elevator of the recovery place, honey, relax.
How painful was the whole process, if you don't mind me asking?
It's painful.
Yeah.
And when people say it isn't, they're lying.
Yeah.
I mean, they yanked my face. And I said, give me a good yank. I go, doctor, I don't want to see you in 6 months.
Right.
Give me a good, get in there and just start pulling.
Just go for
yanking.
My issue with Kathy Griffin is also this. You can yank and pull your face and come out looking like a whole new person. You don't look better, but you look like a new person. However, you got to do the work on your soul, right? You can change the exterior, you can change the outside, you can change your cheeks, your chin, your nose, your eyebrows, your forehead, everything. But you are still an evil person on the inside, Kathy Griffin, in my opinion, and you're someone who really needs help because I will still not forgive Kathy Griffin for holding up the severed head of President Trump. Does anyone remember this controversy? She held up a bloody, severed head of President Trump at a time when people were being beheaded around the globe, where heads were rolling into markets around the globe. She did that. President Trump's young children and grandchildren had to witness that. They don't know what's real and what's not. When you're 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, you see something on the news, is that daddy? So shame on you, Kathy Griffin. Shame on you. You're disgusting. You can go get all the plastic surgery you want. You can go under the knife 10,000 more times. In fact, you lose brain cells apparently every time you go under the knife. So that could explain a lot. But Kathy Griffin, you can go under the knife a million more times. You're still broken on the inside and you're still hurting. Well, y'all know I'm back to tell you about Vandy Crisp. These are the only chips I eat. I don't do Lay's. I don't do other potato chips. And let me tell you why I love Vandy Crisps. If this is your first time tuning in to Spot On, Vandy Crisp has just 3 ingredients: heirloom potatoes, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow, no seed oils. That tallow's loaded with nutrients for your skin, brain, and hormones, and it makes these chips taste unreal. The tallow means you're satisfied without overeating, which makes it the perfect snack. You need to give Vandy a try, so go to vandycrisps.com/link and use code LINK for 25% off. That's vandycrisp.com/link, code LINK for 25% off your first order.